to me, no. But as the time went by, I had my suspicions.
He'll sort of look past her as he's sort of like thinking. And he says, "Do you remember what you told me you would do in my position if you saw someone who had been taken by the power of the undead?" You said you would cut them down where they stand instantly without hesitation. Why haven't you hunted him in the city if you know he's here?
She is quiet for a long moment.
I'm gonna roll another insight check on this bitch. Shit.
Your own emotions, your own anger makes it harder for you to see her emotions clearly. She says, because my boy, as much as a good I am, I'm not getting younger, and I believed that if he's here, he might decide to visit. And if I were to correct my mistake, then I'll have the greater chance of doing this on my home ground. But even then, I cannot be sure of success. I do not know where Raoul was traveling, but those who survive outside the walls, they are either very lucky, very strong, or made deals no one else would.
He's gonna stand up and he's gonna start pacing back and forth. He's gonna say, "And you never thought to tell me? You never thought to alert the guards or bring guards here to protect you? Like, you've done nothing."
I've
And then
done my best to prepare
he's going
you.
to actually interrupt her.
Okay.
And he's going to stop and sort of wheel around on her. He's gonna say, "I fought against him, and I hurt him bad enough that he basically retreated. I could have killed him." And he just sort of sits back down again, just sort of too tired to be that angry anymore. He just puts his head in his hands, thinking.
The guards will not protect me. I do not want them to protect me. If it comes down to this, this mistake will be fixed. Or atoned for. One way or the other.
He's gonna stand up. And he's gonna say, not all things have to be atoned for in blood. And he's just gonna walk out.
You will hear one last sentence echoing behind you. Which will say, should you lead the order with that in mind, perhaps things will be better. And with that sentence, you'll leave her behind.
He's probably going to just be traveling through the city for a while, and then just sort of like walking without looking where he's going, and then run into Sasa. Sort of at the end of his foul mood.
Alright.
Okay.
Just a quick question. Whatever you had planned was going to be like potentially long scene, JP? Because in that case I wanted to like for a moment jump to either Pastor or Silas.
No, we should do the rest. We should do the rest, and then I continue.
Alright. So, first let's go with Pastor. After the tribulations of the previous, well, I say day, but we know what I mean.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific plans? Do you do anything or thinking about something?
For the most part, Pastor just goes back to the church, maintaining the lights. But along with him, he brings a pot of awakening. And he plants a shrub within it. Or at least the seeds of one. And he starts to take care of it.
If I know what that is, essentially, you will have like, I am Groot.
Yes, I know.
Good.
I like this.
Oh god, I have like the hilarious like Mark Hill saying that when this awakened pot like grows up, it will like, Father.
Oh god, I have made mistakes.
Father. I crave water, Father.
Okay, I mean that's a nice touch.
So he just has a pot of awakening that he's growing now. In the church.
Okay. For the point of reference, I'm gonna say that you do not get any more, for now, you do not get any more dreams/visions of that place,
Understood.
of the Light Mind place. But when you rest, either short or long rest, you do feel tuggings at your matrix, at your power, the source of your radiant energies. Kind of like it's not a storm, but fuck, what's the word I'm looking for?
Or palpitation.
But you know there's like someone threw a big rock into water and there are like waves rippling.
Yeah.
You this is like the closest analogy I'm thinking of that. Yeah, you are feeling some waves in the flow of power and within
Understood.
you. Oh, I'm gonna say like one more thing, that when you like, for example, like put a hand on your chest and like trying to focus on this, your eyes almost by themselves subconsciously drift towards the Elder's Tree, that giant source of power that towers above most of the city. And now I realize I probably should have mentioned that, like, basically one of the effects that would be immediately visible to all of you but I'm gonna just say that perhaps some of you are like too tired to notice right now, is that one of the not larger, smaller, but still one of the branches of that glowing tree is no longer glowing. In fact, it is like, oh my god, the equivalent of necrotic tissue, but on wood.
Like petrified.
Right. Yeah, I think you told us about this last time.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I did. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so yeah, when you think that your eyes would like dart or glance towards that, well, there's like some correlation there.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have a similar question to Silas. After the battle ended, he managed to rest. Does he have any like specific plans, or does Silas wants to do anything in the city during that moment of relative peace?
He's just loitering.
Perhaps visiting his baker again?
No, actually, far from it. He's
Oh.
avoiding every location that he once was when he was a guard. So he's actually just loitering around the city and seeing the spots that he never visited because, again, wasn't from here.
Okay. Okay, so probably Silas will be the first one to notice it, but this actually ties to one of the two things that are happening. Apologies, just quickly jump back to... Actually, no, my apologies. So, Silas, as he's loitering, would... Actually, no, because as a guard, you probably would also avoid... You would have patrolled like the walls and whatnot, so probably would also avoid that right now. Still, after like going around the city, you would be one of the first, probably the first player character of the party to figure out, but that will be like happening slightly later. That's there would be an alarm bell going on, localized, not like general alert, but for a section of the wall, and it would turn out that there was a relatively large undead attack on the walls. Mindless, but it kinda seemed like they came out of the woodwork, like guided by something. Or perhaps guided is a wrong word.
I mean, if they're mindless, I think they would just shrug it off.
Yeah, like if Silas like became involved at any point in time, like he wouldn't see any like undead giving orders and whatnot. I mean, if he wanted to make some sort of correlation or like try to guess what perhaps might have happened, then probably
Let's see. Let's
like
see how he's feeling.
arcane, or religion. Like
He legitimately does not care.
okay. Just wanted to make sure.
No, you're good.
All right. And yeah, we're gonna like turn back to like the scene between Sasa and Vale, which is like happening before even the first mindless wave attack happened. So yeah, so Sasa, you find Vale.
Alright. Sasa will kind of just like... I assume she's like flying up, searching. Eventually sees Vale. She's going to fly down and be like, Vale, Vale, Vale. And just kind of just like look to see if Vale is reactive,
He
responsive.
turns to look at
responding.
you with eyes that are dead.
And she kind of just like stops and says like, did something happen?
And he just says, I don't want to talk about it. What do you
Okay.
need?
Well, I have something that will cheer you up.
Okay.
Follow me,
I'm ready.
and she's gonna lead Vale like a bit somewhere that's like quiet.
Mm-hmm.
No, not like alone,
Somewhere
just
where you
like
can take
a
out a
bit more
gun.
quiet. Yes, like an alleyway or something, and just be like, observe. And she's going to pull out, which is essentially just like a flintlock pistol
Mhm.
with a piece of wood taped on top of it.
I imagine
No,
this is
sorry,
like
on the bottom of it.
comically. This is like toy-sized gun compared to Vale, because you're a fairy.
Yes,
So
this
this
is
is
like
like
made
small.
for Sasa, so yes.
Vale just looks at this, and he's gonna say, "Is this another weird flamethrower, or is this actually shoot?"
Oh no, this actually shoots, and she's
Oh.
going to aim for the floor,
hmm
and she's gonna shoot it.
Like with a bullet, like a force bullet.
You're going to see a tiny, like, like yellow white light,
Yeah.
just a bullet that looks like it, just like pew, and as soon as it hits the ground, it disappears.
I'll just look down, and I'll be like, "Well, it seems useful."
Yeah, and I can also use spells, and she's gonna point the gun at like Vale because she has no knowledge of gun safety.
Oh, great.
She's just
Vale
like
like
playing
almost
around.
like jumps, like, "Oh God."
Yeah, and she's just like aiming my things, and she says, "I'm ready. I'm prepared."
Maybe holster that for now.
Okay, and she's like puts it down. Do you got anything useful?
No,
Mm,
I got a lot of anger. So
okay, let me know when
that's
you want to
cool.
talk about it.
I'll talk about it whenever we're all together. I just don't want
Okay.
to repeat it over and over.
Okay. Oh, I also got this, and she's going to pull a little orb. Um, that I assume for both of them is something weird, but it's just a tiny like sphere of glass.
He's just gonna squint at it and he's gonna say, "Is that like a decoration? What does that do?"
She's gonna say, I found it on my parents' house. It's well, it's. I'll show you what it does next time we can, but it's
Alright.
gonna be useful for us.
Okay, sounds good. I need to go sleep. I still haven't slept yet. I'll see you later.
Okay.
And he's
Just
gonna go
kinda just
back
like-
and sleep without even like looking in his mentor's direction, ignoring her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So, give me one moment. I need to like ask for clarification just so I understand Vale's idea well. Like, is Vale actually like planning on gathering the whole group and giving them the spiel?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if you want, we can do that right now.
Alright. So next time, yeah, I assume he's just gonna go off to go get Sasa because she knows where she usually is at the workshop, and then he's gonna go get Pastor because he knows where he is usually at the church, and then they're just gonna wander around the city until they eventually find Silas. And they just go on a little like tour. They just kind of zigzag until they eventually find him. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, there you are." He'll walk up to Silas. Okay, I have something I need to tell everybody. Okay, cool. Here we go.
It would have been a lot more interesting if I had a 1.
Oh, unfortunate.
Oh,
No. They'll be looking at you, be like, "Oh, what's going on? What's wrong?"
I just need to tell everyone something, is all.
Okay.
And he's gonna sort of think for a second. And I guess we're gonna go to... Is there somewhere that we could talk with that would be more, like, secluded? I guess, like, Sasa's house would work, but I don't know if that's technically, like, cordoned off by the guards now.
Uh, despite the damage, there is still some presence, like they're still making sure that the lights are on.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine there is a precedent that if Sasa asked this as, member of the Maple family,
Mm-hmm.
you would be able to, use that place to talk.
All right.
I will also
He's just
mention
gonna-
one thing, just quickly.
Yeah.
It didn't reach a boiling point, but as we were going around the city looking for Silas, all of you have distinct feeling of tension rising. You see people as they are talking about the topic of that petrified branch of the damage done to the tree is one of the main topics happening in the city.
Mm.
As it happens, there are no looks sent your way for now, and also not to Sasa. But there's definitely a talk of what happened, how the elder could have allowed this to happen. No, it's not the elder. You don't this custodian of his is being in charge. He'll allow this foolish elf. Basically turning towards negative and going down the some potentially hostile. There's definitely anger born out of legit worry and fear that the main source of power and safety for the city might have been fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's this is something that builds up in the background. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in. So
No, you're good.
yeah, go on. If you're as you're arrive at the Sasa's home, and yeah, scene is yours.
We arrive. We walk in. It's okay if it's just in the foyer. It doesn't really matter. Dale was just concerned of
if you want, we can.
Yeah. Vale was just concerned of he didn't want other people to start panicking from him saying this. It's just out in the open. But he's gonna sort of gather everybody and he's gonna say, I don't know if anybody could hear this during the fight yesterday, but the werewolf, the one that we'd been fighting and tracking this whole time, referenced my mentor by name. And so I questioned her about it. And apparently she knows who it is. Their name is Raoul. And they're apparently what she believes is her mistake. Something that someone that was her, I guess you could say trainee, but then fell to darkness. She believes that he made a deal with something out in the darkness. And I can only assume it is that angelic, dark angel creature that Sasa saw earlier. Considering they were in the same room.
Okay, so your old master's apprentice is connected to the dark entity wing thing that is somehow connected to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
We made the light angry.
Yep.
Wait, do I know that in character? I'm pretty sure I know this. I don't remember.
I think everyone knows this at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We made the light angry. And it looks like we're also making the city slightly angry.
Not a
Did I
lot going
miss
for
anything?
us right now, I'm gonna be honest.
Mm-mm.
Not a good pile to stack.
No.
Sorry, just quickly pipe in. Sasa definitely can think that the Fallen was connected to her parents, but the way I wanted to like portray it, that he was definitely interested in the research.
Yeah, I
So,
know. Like
who
he
knows?
wasn't. He was interested in the research, but he knew about the research of my parents, so he knows about my family bloodline somehow. That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what
I-
is there for us to do?
Well, I tried to ask my mentor to see why she hadn't faced him yet, and she believes that she wouldn't survive. More or less. And the reason that she's been training me so hard is so that I would.
Okay,
So,
is that what happened the other day?
she'll nod. He'll nod.
Oh,
It's not a pleasant conversation.
okay. So what exactly do we have to continue right now?
I sort of shrug. I feel like the only way to really end this is to deal with the person that Rella is contracted to, so if we're able to find him again, because I can't track him, we could at least question him if we defeat him. If we defeat him. But otherwise, I wouldn't really have any other leads.
So just the same thing as always. Get rid of the darkness.
All we really can do. And he'll sort of look to Pastor and Silas.
Silas shrugs.
I think Pastor's just having like a dead stare at the building.
Just like thinking. Okay, she's going to say. Wait. Quick question to the do I know
Yes.
the language of that the journal was written on? Because I cannot read it, but
Actually, fun thing. Like, were you trying to like inspect it like closely? Like, have you like, you know, went through it like the pages, or just like quickly skimmed it, realized that you don't really speak that language, and because do you
Well,
speak Sylvan or not really?
I don't know.
Okay.
So the when I first got it, I went through it and I was like, oh, I cannot read like part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when the whole tree with the whole thing with the tree
Mhm.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't opened the book since
Mhm.
then. Sorry.
Yes.
So she's not gonna do it right now. She's just asking. Like I just wanted to know if I knew what kind of language it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you would know it's from the bits and pieces that you saw. It's Sylvan.
Okay. And then I will ask, does any of you know Sylvan or anyone that can read Sylvan?
Vel will shake his head. If anything, I would ask maybe the druid.
Hmm. She's going to explain that she's gonna say the journal that I found, it's written in Sylvan. I cannot read it, but we will need to find someone that can read it and that we can trust on. And
Do you think your sister might?
I can already say Sasa would know that no, Kira doesn't speak Sylvan.
Okay.
the best thing I could do. Actually, let me go through my list real quick, like out of character.
I'm gonna AFK for 1 second.
Okay. So I can make magic items, but I'm trying to see if there's anything I can actually use that could help.
JP, how long would this conversation be going?
I think what we talk is about the time that we would talk.
Okay.
Like in character.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. I'm just gonna wait about 7 more minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that could help. Yeah,
My
I
oh
don't.
my, the radiant boy pastor knows Abyssal?
Yes, he does.
I mean, I guess
Oh no.
one should know the language of the enemy.
One sec.
Yes.
I don't comprehend languages is the thing. I was just checking if my infusions, because I know that I had like some helms that do stuff, but
Mm-hmm. As for the druid, the elder, even though we're like, you probably would have also heard that. You did hear that as a reminder already. That the elder hasn't been seen for a while. Like the common knowledge and assumption is that he's holed up in his house and that no one is allowed in.
Even if he were, we probably wouldn't be on the best of terms with him after that incident.
well, I don't even think it's
You-
him. We will be in bad terms with.
Cannot
You
know
know,
for
they-
sure.
Yeah, we will be in bad terms with the, head of guards who kind of hates me and my family right now.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello back.
Get back.
And then Vale will say, speaking of that, you know the captain of the guards?
Yeah.
I heard him talking to somebody in his room before we went and told him that we'd gotten back from our last mission, but there was no one in the room. I don't know what that was about. I was going to research it and then got distracted.
So everything's really weird right now.
Does the captain of the guard know any magic?
Not that I've seen out of character.
From your
In character?
knowledge and lifetime experience of living in the city, especially to you two as real natives, no, he was a soldier, a knight.
I think didn't Silas tell you guys 2 sessions ago that the captain was switched with another person?
What?
I remember that. Like, okay, way back, originally, you said old captain was being replaced by new guy. 2 sessions ago, Silas did an info dump to Vale. Was like, oh yeah, this one person showed up on me.
No. That's the druid. They got that new elf.
The elder. I meant the elder.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say, yeah, the captain of the guard. The only time that ever popped up was when Silas quit his job in that one session.
No. So that was the new person, quote unquote, was an elf that was doing like receiving information and giving information on behalf of the elder druid.
Yes, Custodian Sidarin, and he was basically giving the briefing that now I am like in charge, like Captain Tom, like so basically, this guy is for like the guard specifically, and this guy was doing the scene with where Silas was present, basically explaining that the elder is not to be disturbed, and he's basically his voice, more or less.
Okay, Silas stops dancing. Just gonna stare at you guys.
I like to imagine he was just doing the Macarena.
Slide to the left. Slide to the right.
That's not the macarena.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
know.
electric slide.
Yeah, I know. You
I-
could have been doing a weird combination of either.
Fine.
Macarena slide fusion.
Slide while doing the Macarena. Easy.
Probably just go
So-
outside then, outside the doors for a second, and think to himself.
I'll just continue saying, well, I think the best we can do right now is just find someone that speaks a language who we can trust, or find a way to read this, I guess. Well, I think.
will merely throw one hint.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to pursue it, especially since this might be distasteful in character for some of the characters. If you seek knowledge, technically speaking,
Oh.
you did hear
Oh,
someone with a
no.
certain
Yeah.
moniker.
Oh.
I know. Like, I thought about it. That's why I'm like,
Which
I
person?
mean. Oh, Vampire Ward.
yeah,
Mm.
And that library, because you would
I would
recall
rather-
that place was
Uh.
somewhat ruined and full of ghosts, but this looked like a library.
And we already
Yeah.
know one of the undead there.
We also know the payment for knowledge is souls, so
yeah, no.
big
You know,
mistake.
you
know
probably
what?
you know that's for the librarian. You do not know specifically. Rather, I'm gonna say that out of character. You do not know specifically if that's the case with the Lord of Knowledge. You might assume that in character. That's your absolute prerogative.
Perhaps I should have grabbed that soul coin as my uncommon item.
I don't think a soul coin will pay for enough of this. It's an
I
entire
mean-
book.
A soul coin is a coin with a soul bound into it.
Yeah.
But one soul.
Yeah. Good enough.
She's gonna say, wait, quick question. So, in my parents' like house, was there
Mhm.
any other documents I found in Sylvan?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
The
Oh.
oldest notes were written in Sylvan.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Sorry.
anybody want to become a warlock? Eyes of the Runekeeper, this bitch?
Yeah.
Anybody feeling especially Lovecraftian today?
Warlock cleric multi-class.
If anything, I think I will be the best for that. But
Yeah. Just get a Fey patron, easy.
I don't think I can connect to those.
Have you tried?
I wouldn't be here if I could. I'm going to be honest.
Or have you really tried, like, gone into a level?
I'm gonna take out my gun. No, I don't think we can right now. But we need to figure out if the druid elder, that's a word, they can help us. I think that's the only powerful magic user that we know. I think that's our best chance, but that includes going through the custodian and trying to talk our way through that. Does anyone disagree or have a better idea?
Out of character, I disagree because I haven't gotten my cool tattoo yet.
I mean, I'm not saying we have to do it right now.
Okay,
I'm saying
cool.
we just like that's our next step.
Yes.
Just double checking. We got both the uncommon item and the common item, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's part of your loot.
All right.
However, yeah, for the tattoo, Veil kind of like did adjustment fluff-wise. How Veil gets that.
Right.
Yeah. I just had to go do 20 questions with my mentor first.
Also, with apologies. As a small reminder, you do have that point of insight if the entire party agrees on what sort of question they want asked.
I love when DMs do this and like give you like a yeah, you can ask me one free question because I always get the like ADHD urge to just spend it on something really stupid.
What's the price of a pan bread?
What's the name of the big tower of flesh? And does he like chicken nuggets?
If I had 2 guns, would it be better than 3 guns?
Yeah, anyways,
My surprise is I don't like to ask.
it's not going anywhere. Sorry, what was that, Samuel? I stepped into your
Said-
word.
I literally said I don't like to ask any questions because I like it to all be a surprise.
That's a fair point. Fair
I can't
stance.
think of anything to ask.
I mean, I do want to ask, do you know anyone that can speak Sylvan or any place where I can learn? That was my
Doesn't say
question.
WoW exist. How do I get there?
Is it possible to make the giant floating orb of light care?
I have a tiny orb of light. Does that count?
Okay. So,
I guess not.
What's the
I think I have,
political
like, 3
situation
of
with the
those.
Lords of Night?
Okay, we need to continue. We need to continue.
Yeah.
so if I'm correct, the idea is that obviously you do your like preparation stuff, get your items sent, then you will be trying to get audience with the elder
Mhm.
by the way
Yeah.
of trying to convince Custodian City. Good luck with that. What? I said that?
Worst case scenario, I'm gonna sneak in there.
Next time you see Vale, he has a cool earring on like his left ear. And he also
nice.
has tattoos all over his arms and hands. That look
Speaking
like
of-
teeth.
As you guys
Yes.
as we're leaving Sasa's home, Silas will pull Vale to the side and be like, "Hey, I
Hey,
think this will better suit you than me." They
Oh.
hand you a broom.
a rune?
A broom.
Oh
A
my god.
broom! I know what this is! He looks at the broom and he's like, how do I use this and what does it do?
Just say up. Then you'll see the broom actually go parallel to the ground, 4 feet above. So it floats there.
He's like, wait. And he's gonna get on the broom and he's like, I am both witch and werewolf. Unstoppable.
All we need is mafia.
You'll need this, and then he'll hand you a hat.
I'll take the hat and I'll put it on. Yeah! I summon a bat!
What the fuck?
I summon it and I take off my hat a little bit and you see a little bat fly out. And he puts it back on.
My god.
And he just watches it fly away. And he's just like, what did that even do?
I'm gonna do one small fluff adjustment. When bat appears, it's not glowing as it doesn't give light, But it has radiant coloration.
Should be easy enough
Interesting.
to sneak in there now, huh?
Vale's even more confused.
Then Sos will join back with Pastor and Sasa as you walk on wherever you guys are going.
So Vale just looks at Sasa as she like exits the door after this talk.
Sasa just
He's
like
like-
looks at the broom. She's just like
And I
staring,
have
so,
like this big, I imagine it's like a witch's hat, like really big hat. And he's like, I'm you now. Points at Sasa, flies away.
how fast can this broom fly?
Faster than
50
you.
feet.
50 feet?
You have to
It goes
sprint
50
keep up.
feet. As long as it's less than 200 pounds, which Silas couldn't make use of. So, oh, sorry.
I think I would
gotta
be
go do
slightly
something.
over 200. Yeah, so I would be probably in line with you. So we can fly side by side.
Sasa's like, She's just like thinking really carefully, and then just like places hand on broom. You're gonna see sparkles come out of her hand, and then she's just gonna look at you and give you a smile, like a trickery kind of smile, and just like
He
step
gives
away.
you an extremely sus look. Can I insight you?
gonna Yeah, sure.
The fuck did you just do? No. Almost a 20.
Whap, whap.
Amazing.
Good luck.
He doesn't try moving, he just points at you. He's like, what did you just do?
She's just gonna start flying away.
He's going to lower the broom back down to the ground.
Okay,
And get off of it. What is him looking at this thing?
it's just the broom.
I hate this.
Good luck figuring out what I did.
Can I roll Arcana as someone who doesn't have any knowledge on Arcana? Or any plus to Arcana?
I don't know.
Mm. I'd say if you do not have skill in that, it will be like flat intelligence check.
That's what the roll is anyway.
Ah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
With 14, I'm not sure.
Well, I will say yeah. It's not that hard.
Okay, so
What'd
what
you
did you do?
I just used Druidcraft to scare him.
Oh, I hate you.
It was literally just Druidcraft.
Alright, well. I was just gonna look at this and like look disgruntled. And I assume everyone's sort of leaving because we were done talking. So he's gonna thank Silas. And he's gonna say, I'll find a use for this, and sort of wave his hat. Put it back on. And get on his little broom and off he goes! He goes home
Distraction
on a
beard.
broom. I walk into the manor and see Forenzia, and they just have a hat and a broom.
Master, I'm a wizard now.
I like fly over like the main mansion entrance, and then I like land in the courtyard. Gets off broom, flips hair, goes to bed.
Like motorcycle.
Yeah,
Cool motorcycle
like
guy.
that's how he gets on and off the broom. It's like a motorcycle. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Gosh.
That's definitely a fashion statement.
Out of character. Very kind of you to give me your magical items. I appreciate it.
All good.
Live action gif of Vale.
True.
I found this.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Sasa, it's time. I need you to make a
Fucking
motorcycle
amazing.
around this broom.
Oh my god.
Put your artificial
Wait.
skills to work.
Here's a problem. I'm an artillerist. I'm
Yeah.
not like an armor.
I need you to make like a more like a
We can
more
talk to the blacksmith.
broom
Yeah,
mortar.
you're a blacksmith. Why don't you do it yourself?
I don't know how to do machines though. I just know
Okay,
how to
you
make
do-
like the chassis.
You make the parts, and I make you fucking. I figure it out.
Okay.
God.
Exactly. But like
Alright.
instead of wheels, it's a broom.
All right.
Freaking
Yeah, the kind of
abomination.
thing that Sasa will
Yeah.
make.
Yeah. Mobile
My
artillery.
God.
baby. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, this is great.
So fucking stupid. I love this.
Amazing.
Wait. Oh, wait.
God.
I was gonna be like, I have an ear of message. Like I could like speak to the animals, but then I realized that they need to know a language that they understand and I
Yeah.
understand. So I can't. I love that.
You want to become a Disney princess?
Yes.
Oh god. I haven't watched the episode, but I watched Burderhar's animation of that toxic pigeon.
Oh yes. I love those animations. They're
Give me
great.
your gun, bitch! Oh boy.
Wait, a squirrel cool hold my gun.
I'll take one level in Druid.
I mean, I want to get. I can make a homunculus. I don't know how to say the word.
You're gonna make a
properly.
homunculus?
I'm gonna make it hold my gun. Yes.
Oh my God.
That's horrible.
I can't wait for it to speak to us in a crazed voice.
You do know what those look like, right? In
Yes.
D&D? Okay.
I do.
Fucking. Oh.
Horrific creatures.
Yeah, so we're just gonna have one of them like.
Imagine this guy with a Glock.
Nice. So this is how I think.
We're just gonna slowly arm the entire guard with guns.
I mean,
That'll drive back the darkness.
I mean,
Gunpowder.
there are some firearms
America?
because we did say that there are firearms, but I'm gonna say like the scale of production is an issue. Like it's a bottleneck because it's still
Right.
like
really
not
complicated thing.
like a very common technology, and it's kind of hard to make for basically people not
Actually-
being protagonists, aka and PCs.
Okay.
What happens if you put stone powder instead of gunpowder?
That's
Get
an-
those like flashbang, like blank rounds where it's just a big flash.
That's an interesting question that I haven't considered, which we might turn into a different question. Do you think that they have already done experiments like that?
Hmm.
Or this is
No.
something that merely awaits discovery?
I have a
wait,
feeling
sorry.
that no one is crazy enough to try putting the powder that we're using to keep our lives safe into a gun.
I don't think anyone's going to resist. Very clearly, very hard to produce, very hard to see powder, just to test it in a gun.
Also,
That's
I
fair.
am going to retcon one of my common items, and I'm
Okay.
going to change it for something else, and I'm going to give Silas a 10-foot wooden pole, and I'm gonna give it to him, and I'm gonna say, "Here, I think you'd like this," and he's gonna speak the command word "gone fishing," and it's gonna turn into a fishing pole. For your consideration.
Sorry, I had to walk away.
Okay. I've changed out one of my common items. So Vale walks up to you after you giving him those items, and he gives you a 10-foot wooden pole. And he's gonna speak the command word, "gone fishing," and it's gonna turn into a fishing pole. And he's gonna say, "I think you'd make use of this."
Said it. Then above board, my brain is jumping through weird things because I have a question about this world that matters heavily.
Okay.
How do phytoplankton live here?
Oh.
Because
My-
that isn't. That is a big
I imagine
thing.
like deep sea fish kind
We are
of living
slowly
off of,
running
like-
out of oxygen.
Yeah.
Not slowly. We
Well,
would
yeah.
have already been dead.
Yeah.
After what, a
Imagine.
month?
Yeah, I will fully honestly say that in that regard, I usually apply stance of like don't worry too much about real life biology and stuff.
Shadowfell plankton.
Uh,
Shadowfell plankton. That's all I'm saying. Shadow plankton.
They convert
Completely.
dark into oxygen.
Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on.
that could work. Yeah, because by the previously
the-
established rules of the world, well,
The veil doesn't exist.
the seas, the bodies of water, no one was throwing lights into them, so there's all
yeah.
kinds of shadowy
Oh
shit.
yeah, the water must be like the fucking worst. Oh god.
Enjoy fishing up undead horrors. You know?
Gonna cast the line and catch some fucking Eldritch deity.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Although because say one of my inspirations for this was Ruby, and technically speaking, even on Remnant, Grim are not the only creatures existing in the world. There are like normal animals.
The fish had to adapt.
So I'd say that. Yeah, the seas are dark, so I'm gonna say that like not every fish is a monster, like in mechanical terms, like shadowy monster, but there are some weird fucking looking fishes.
Hermit crabs are half hermit.
Oh man. Okay. I do think it will be time for us to leave though. I need to finish preparing my stuff too.
Alright.
That was fun though. We got a lot of things.
So I will leave that information because it probably gonna nicely work in timeline wise. That you would have heard like rumor note that there was an attack, like a small attack on one of the section of the walls that was repelled even before you had time to investigate. But as you will be making your way towards the elder's house, the tension in the streets would be palpable, and approaching the tree even from a distance, you would see a crowd gathering, looking very agitated.
Oh no.
Mm.
And
Wait, I have a spell. Never mind. I'd have to rest and redo my.
this is like after this, like you before that scene happens, you definitely had at least one, probably two chances to like do either short or long rest.
Yeah, but would Pastor think to apply calm emotions?
No.
I did. It's up to you. I'm gonna like reiterate. I did mention that like this is not sudden. This was something building up over a course of at least like two
Right.
pulses, at least a day. So maybe he thought I'm gonna like leave it to your to your regard, Derp.
I don't think Pastor would do that. No, I think he doesn't really realize the state of the town.
That's fair. I leave it completely up to you. But yeah, you'll be seeing a crowd gathering outside the Elder's house, and on the opposite side, no custodian yet, but a line of some guards that, run-of-the-mill troops, but most of them looking pretty beefy. So, veterans and knights. Probably one or two constructs, the shield guardians, the one you saw at the end of the market attack. And with that sight in your eyes, we may end today's session.
All right, I'm
Right.
scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, as I mentioned, despite everything and that I was still tired, I hoped you had fun with the session being slightly slower and more light, I would say.
Yeah.
Hey, it was good.
Good
I
stuff.
liked it.
Okay.